I'm Toby Hodges from Yachting World, on board the Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 350, first morning of the European Yacht of the Year trials here from Palma, Mallorca. Very light breeze, but we're hoping it's going to fill in as the day goes on. Welcome aboard. So a lot of you be familiar with the 349 before this. Very, very popular model. They built 1,200 of them. So it's a big one to replace. It's a lot of boats. I thought a good portion of that would have been because it had a swing keel, which made it a very versatile boat. But that was only around 20-25%, 5% of them, I think, which sold with that version. Still a fair amount. But you can appreciate this is a big replacement. It's still the same design. It's Marc Lombard design, the hull shape, and Jean-Marc Piéton interior. And what they've done basically is give it a slightly more modern hull shape. So it is a new hull mold, slightly more modern hull shape, which means your beam is carried further aft. And the advantage of that really is so that they can incorporate their now trademark walk-around decks. So what happens is you still have the same large cockpit of the 349, but you get the advantage of having these walk-around side decks like the 380 and the 410 have. It also means it gets the same size bathing platform as those larger boats without impacting your interior space. So you can see how that beam is carried aft. And whilst we're up here, you can see you get that extra sort of larger volume of the modern hull shape further forward as well, and an inverted bow with a dry forefoot. So this has the bow spread. We've got the Code 0 set on this as well. There is an asymmetric which sets further forward of that, and it has the performance sail package as well, which means a flat deck furler and laminate sails, including a square top mainsail as well. So you get a bit more sail area basically in better sail cloth. There is also a in-mast furling option close as well, but we are sailing, I guess, the more performance version. You can feel that already. Look, little puff of breeze, and we're starting to move through the water now. So yeah, fixed keel and performance sail package. This is hull number 3. The boat launched at Düsseldorf in January, so you know it's 8 months old now, and 10 months old, sorry. And they've made a few changes since then, but they're minor ones and interior focused ones as well. We've got a beautiful morning here in Bay of Palma. Very light started with, but it's really showing the value of having, so we've got 11 knots apparent at the moment, and we're sailing at about 80 degrees to the apparent. But yeah, it really shows the value of having, or choosing I should say, the Code 0. I've long said this, and Jeanneau have offered this as an option with their range of yachts for a long time now, and it just makes so much sense, because for this flat water light wind sailing, it just means you can get a lot more fun and enjoyment and speed out of the boat, really. So this, you know, it would be a little bit lifeless with just the Jeanneau out, but this is almost acting like a Jeanneau, because you can sail easily up to 60 degrees to the apparent, or you can do more sort of beam reaching like we are now, and it's just, yeah, as you can see, it's a finger on the helm, twin rudders, loads of stability and control, and it's a very easy 6 knots. So when it drops off a bit, you're down to about 5.5, or when it picks up, over sort of 12 power, 13, you're up easily over 6 knots. A 5.6 ton yacht, that's the Hansa 360 in front of us that we're certainly not losing on, and that's a fair bit bigger, that boat actually, but yeah, it's just a nice enjoyable house. It's what Jeanneau do. They make very versatile, enjoyable yachts to sail, and you can see the position I'm doing, so from here it is very nice. So no backstay, plenty of room here in the quarters to sail from, and what a position it is to leeward here. Stick your feet out, easy control of the sheet from there as well, and just a guiding finger on the helm. It's also a great spot to trim from as well, just standing up, because you've got this high bulwark here, so you're leaning up against the rails. It's easy to keep an eye on the telltales and trim, and you feel safe. So this is the spot right here. Finger on the wheel. We're now doing 7.5 knots in 12.5 knots apparent at 80 degrees to the apparent with that code 0, and it's just really easy. Going upwind with the head sail as well, you know, we're making more like 5 knots. It's easy enough to manage the sheets on the 2 winches. Yes, you've got the coach with winches as well, but the main sail is German led to here, so you know you can bring that in and lock it off on the jammer, and then put your head sail sheet on whichever one you want. We've got the code 0 sheets on here at the moment, with the main sheet on the windward winch at the moment. But yeah, easy enough to manage. It certainly in the flat water, lighter breeze like we've got now. You can sheet the head sail a little bit closer than this square top backstayless main with no traveller, of course. But yeah, we could still tack through 90 degrees okay. And yeah, I just think it's a, you know, fun, easy, good entry level sort of family cruiser sort of size, and manageable and comfortable to sail as well. Below my feet here there is a cockpit locker for a life raft. Just put fenders in the moment, and a cockpit locker on the starboard side, which is a sealed locker. And this one has the bench locker here as well, because this is a 3-cabin boat. So there is a cabin below there. If you had the 2-cabin version, you have a sort of workshop area below this, so you get a lot more stowage space basically on that aft port side. And then just on deck here you can see that the German sheet is on this bridle system, so that is led from those blocks forward to the boom, the brown line, back here to the aft winches. You're running rigging on coach roof winches conventionally, and then your jib sheets on floating blocks there that work really well, because it just means you can in-haul them nicely. So you can change the angle of that jib sheet, you can change the height of it and how far inboard it is for sheeting up the coach roof. And then up on the foredeck, just a conventional chain locker. With a windlass in it. This one has remote control for that windlass, I noticed, back on the helm pedestals, or an extra one here as well. And then the flat deck furler. What that means, if you haven't come across them before, it just, you see the tape going around the drum. It keeps the drum really nice and thin and low. So you keep the foot of the head sail as low as possible and maximise its area. And then forward of that, you've got this brilliant furling code 0. It is just a very versatile sail for sailing, you know, close reaching through to broad reaching, and yeah, it's just on a endless furling system there as well. So you just pull this line, and you can do so again from back in the cockpit if you wish. And then the bow sprit includes the anchor roller in there as well. So no real big surprises down below. It's by memory not that different from the 349, but you can see where modern beam helps again and pushes the furniture outboard more, and it's very bright. A lot of natural light being encouraged into the boat through those long coach reef and hull windows. The 349 interior was designed in-house, I think, whereas this is Jean-Marc Piéton, who's done this 8th generation of Sun Odysseys, which started with the 440 and the 490. And yeah, so he's brought his skills into it as well. In terms of layout, yeah, you can have this 3-cabin boat or a 2-cabin version, and the difference is that this has pretty much symmetrical aft cabins there, double in each. If you have 2 cabins, you end up with a separate shower compartment, which then goes into a workshop area aft. And I think that would be, a big decision to make, really, is whether you really want that extra space, that extra aft cabin, because it is quite, in this format, it's quite a tight wet heads area that you're sharing there. Yes, we've got some bags in here at the moment, but I think if you're spending time on board, having that extra shower space and head space, and obviously workshop in terms of stowage, which you would be able to access from the cockpit locker, I think would be a nice thing. But it depends how you set. I just think this size, a 30-35, would be really nice family boat, and if that family can fit within the 2 cabins, then go for it. As it is, nothing, as I say, too surprising about the format. Double bed aft, stowage there, good amount of ventilation in these cabins as well. Again, you get that extra one from having the walk around side deck, with privacy to it too. This entrance, again, if you have this 3rd cabin, the entrance is tight here. I have to get in here sideways basically, so that is going to be quite tight for a larger person. Equally into the heads and shower area. As I say, same format back here. Good size galley though, so good amount of waste bin stowage below the sink. Only a single sink though, and a lift top fridge, nice and deep though, with stowage for crockery etc. outboard. And then a nice long saloon format. This can be a swing keel, so that would, if you chose that version, which I think is a great option to have, particularly if you live in drying estuaries, shoal draft waters, that sort of thing. It becomes wider and longer, so it means you don't really get, it's like the 389 and 410, you don't really have the walk around access further forward. But you can, this is long enough to sleep on, and it has this option here which lifts up. Let's see if I can fit that into place there. So it gives you a chaise option, I guess, same on the bigger boats, or you can have a chart table as well, and that's what I mean about whether you need that aft cabin, because that is a sleepable berth as well, lengthwise. And forward cabin here, just shutting the doors to show what's be like. I mean, which cabin you choose for the owner cabin, I don't know really, whether you go for the aft one or the forward one. But here it is, with those double doors closed. Sort of just enough room really to get in here, to turn around to get changed, probably seated on your berth, with a bit of privacy. Hanging locker there on one side, with a bit of shoe stowage below it, and a locker on this side as well with a shelf. It's very basic. No frills. As I said, this is an owner's boat. It's 6 months old. Doesn't feel, you know, particularly homely or whatever. And there's a few bangs and, you know, square corners, and it's done obviously to a price. They are adjusting a few things, like that head reading light is now up on here, so you don't bang your head on it and things like that. Also, the headlining is screwed in all the way now, so that basically you can grab hold of that and use it as a handrail. And there's a few more bits of solid wood they've added sort of around that companionway, for example. So those steps only lift halfway. You get on your hands and knees here to get access into that engine bay, and you've got a Yamaha 29 horsepower. This one has the folding prop on it as well, shaft drive. That's good to see. Bilge stowage compartments under most of these sail boards. But they do creak and bang a bit. I never really understand why, but they do. Another nice thing about the stowage on the Jeanneau is you don't have to take all the cushions off. So they just lift there to access what's underneath. So that was your quick sail trial tour of the Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 350. Boat starts at 137,000 ex VAT, and this boat we're on, with the options it's got, is 196,000 plus VAT. Hope you enjoyed the tour from Palma, Mallorca. See you next time.